Surprise! We're starting over. This is the Great Reset. We are relaunching the podcast. There's tons of great stuff coming up, and all of the details are here in today's episode. Thanks so much for joining me. Welcome back. This is the Go Diaper Free podcast, and I'm your host, Nicole Cheever. If you don't know me, I'm a Go Diaper Free certified coach, mama of three. I've done elimination, communication, and potty training with each of my three kids at different ages and stages, and I've been hosting the podcast here for almost a year and a half, I think, and it's been a wonderful ride. And we've realized that our podcast here, we're on episode 268. So when you're done listening today, make sure you head over to godiaperfree.com/268. I have a few resources I'm going to mention today, and they will all be linked over there. The transcript is over there. If you're listening on your favorite podcast player or watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button because there's a ton of goodness coming up for you. Kind of relaunched goodness, but still, we're shining it up, making it a little bit new, and we've got everything there for you. So what we've come to find with the podcast here, and really with the Go Diaper Free community, is even though each of our babies is so unique and wonderful, there's obviously a lot we all have in common. Our babies are human babies, just like we have growth charts and developmental milestones that we can kind of expect as a loose guide. It's really similar with elimination communication. If you own the Go Diaper Free book or the Tiny Potty Training book and you flip to that troubleshooting section, your baby is probably not going to experience each and every one of those troubleshooting topics. Your family probably isn't going to go through all of that, but almost everyone is going to experience at least one of those at one point. So we have a lot of common ground, and babies grow up. Even if you have them back to back, maybe you started EC with your first baby at birth and then they were out of diapers and then you had another baby, it's still probably a year or more since you've done this. And so you kind of need a refresh. So we were finding with the podcast, rather than trying to kind of like rehash all of the same information to help those of you that are new or at all of these different transition phases or going through these really common troubleshooting topics, we wanted to go back to all of the goodness that's already there, spruce it up, get it ready to relaunch again, and have it ready for you from the beginning. Rather than letting those old podcast episodes sit there and kind of collect dust, we want to bring them back out in the light again. And the big thing you're going to notice when we're going back through all of these, and if you're plugged into one of our communities, which obviously I highly recommend, is even if you're the only person in your community or your family or your area who's even ever heard of elimination communication, truly, you're not alone. We have such a diverse and rich community from all over the world. So please make sure you get plugged in there. When you purchase one of the books, you get access to the book owners area, the private book owners area that's currently housed on Mighty Networks. Other seasoned parents in the community are giving you tips and tricks. I'm usually in there answering questions too. So you're really going to find that you're truly not alone. We also have the free Facebook groups for both elimination communication and potty training. I will make sure I link those on the show notes. It can seem really scary when you're going through this the first time. So that's why we've built this really robust community to try and show you, again, that you're not alone and we're really here to support you. Just in the podcast and the blog alone, we have over a decade of guidance, questions from the community, troubleshooting topics, encouragement, interviews, ways that EC affects other things like sleep or eating and vice versa. We really have a ton of information here. So again, instead of trying to recreate the wheel all the time or find new topics, because really, again, our babies all are really similar and we all have a lot of common ground. We thought we would just bring back these classic episodes that have so much gold in them, and they'll be new for you, and I really know you're going to enjoy them. So something that you can look forward to, I'm going to preview here a little bit of what we've got coming up in the next couple months with relaunching the podcast. Of course, we're obviously going to have episodes about what is elimination communication and why people are choosing it, even in modern day, westernized, heavily diapered cultures. We have a couple tips on things to avoid with elimination communication, how you can do part-time EC, which is a personal favorite of mine, elimination communication vocabulary, the 4 roads to potty time, some myths, easy catches. I mean, again, it's really all in there. So even if this is your first baby, you're brand new, you literally just heard about elimination communication, we're not leaving you down and out. We've got a ton of great information for you here. So that's pretty much it for today. Make sure you head over to the blog. Again, it's godiaperfree.com/268. Make sure you subscribe, and you're going to be getting those weekly emails again, or the notifications on whichever app you're on. If you're on a podcast app and you've subscribed, you'll get your normal notifications that we've got a new episode coming out. We're still going to have new content on the blog as well. Our coaches write articles for us pretty regularly, and so we will start sending those out in emails also when we've got new content coming up on the blog for you. The blog is really great. We've got a ton of articles on there with pictures and graphics and little short how-to videos. So I'll link that to the podcast show notes here as well at godiaperfree.com/268. When you head over to the blog there, please leave us some comments. Let us know what you thought about the podcast so far, if you're excited for the relaunch. And what I really want to hear from everybody is, what stage of elimination communication are you in right now? So leave that in the comments. Tell us where you are. Are you a seasoned pro? Is this your first time ever hearing about it? Do you have 3 kids that you've VC'd from birth? Where are you? Again, thank you so much for being part of our community. This really is such a blessing to so many of us, myself included. I started as a part of the community before I became a coach, and it's absolutely life-changing. So thanks for being here. Thanks so much for being with me this last year or more on the podcast. Again, I'm excited to see you all around on Mighty Networks and socials. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook. We've got a ton of goodness for all of you. Thanks so much. Love you guys. See you soon. Mwah.